Right.
All right, so we're on.
Yes.
Great. Thanks, Chief. Hey, so are you able by any chance to throw up the agenda?
Yes.
On the screen? Otherwise, I mean, I could do it, but I'm afraid if I switch back and forth to my views,
How's that?
it might, yeah, great. I just might need it blown up a little bit. Yeah, perfect.
That good?
Yeah, thank you very much. Okay, so the February 14th, 2022 Fire District 4 Board of Commissioners regular meeting is called to order because we have a quorum. Roll call should be pretty quick. I'm Mark Land, Commissioner.
Steve Cooley, Commissioner.
Jason Matterveen, Fire Chief.
Great, thank you. So the next item on the agenda, I'll just go over the public comment portion here. Due to Governor Inslee's latest proclamation, members of the public will be able to hear the entire meeting via Zoom, and the link is provided except for executive session, but will not be allowed to speak or provide public comment. The next item on the agenda is our consent agenda, which has been provided to the commissioners in advance. The consent agenda includes the meeting minutes from January 10th regular meeting, the staff reports, the financial reports, and the vouchers. Just in summary, the total expense fund reserve was $22,8501, and February expenditures $1115.46. So I'd like to entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda. And even once the motion is on the table, of course, before we vote, there would be an opportunity to pull anything out of there or ask any questions.
I move to approve that consent agenda.
Seconded. It was moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda. Is there any other discussion on any of the items in there?
Not for me.
Yeah,
Just
me either.
a point of clarification. That was the expense fund revenue
Right.
that you read, not the reserves. So.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's
okay.
Nice.
Nope. Just
Yeah.
wanted to make sure that was pointed out. So.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, if there's nothing else, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. So the next item on the agenda would be unfinished business. Is there any update on the interim fire commissioner position?
We've received no applications or phone calls. I think it might be at a point where you need to reach out to maybe some people that you might know, or if you've got someone that is busy in neighborhoods or knows a lot of people in neighborhoods, maybe hire them as a recruiter for $0, of course. But yeah, see if you can round somebody up.
I actually am talking with a potential candidate. She's given me a tentative maybe. She'll be able to get back to me maybe tomorrow if bottom line is she's interested, but is concerned about being too busy. But before I present her to you all, I will make sure she's interested and willing to move forward. So I should have an answer on that in a day or two. And I'm also working on some other opportunities or some other people. But I have one that's given me a maybe. So, and I think she would be really good, but let me find out from her for sure. And she said by tomorrow, she'd be able to let me know. And then if she says yes, I'll communicate that to you all and see what happens.
Great. Yeah. Thanks, Steve, for working on that.
You bet.
Yeah, I guess it's unfortunate that through the advertising and putting it out there, sort of broadly publicized information, that we've maybe gotten to the point where the commissioners might have to just be a little bit more direct. It's not as if we didn't try to go public, but yeah, we're on the clock, and it's important that we fill that spot.
Yeah.
All right. RFA merger update. Who's driving that?
I'll go ahead and take that one. So spoken to Karen Reed, and I've spoken to you two commissioners individually, and about the idea of moving forward with one commissioner from each district, and then that commissioner will report back to the board for any decisions that would need to be made. Sounds like that's a go ahead, and speaking with both of you, Commissioner Cooley has agreed to take on that job. Karen and Bill Cushman and I are working on financial models, which is similar to what you saw through the RFA planning process, and should have something tied up this week, and we'll get our first meeting on the books, I would say, the week after.
Great. I had a really good meeting with Karen last week. We talked for about an hour or so via Zoom, and we exchanged a lot of information. So that was really good. And from that, I've developed kind of my own to-do list, which I'd be happy to share now or send it to you all later. But yeah, can I share real quick?
Sure.
Want to give you,
that'd be great.
I think it would. Yeah, you got to enable me, I think. You got to enable sharing.
Oh, sorry. Yeah,
No
let
worries.
me stop sharing here.
Yeah, no problem. Just want to give you a quick glance at it, and it's just to give you an idea of what's going on. But she gave me some really good suggestions about things that we as commissioners can be doing. And so I've incorporated that kind of into a brief plan of attack, so to speak.
Great.
Okay.
Okay, you should be able to share.
Yeah. Let me see if it's going to let me find that document. So far. Come on. Sorry. Oh, there it is. No. Yep, there it is. Okay. Anyway, so this just gives you kind of a brief overview of, are you able to see that?
Yes.
Okay, where did it go? I've lost it now. All right.
Yeah, this is exactly why I asked Jason to put the agenda up there at the beginning.
Is it too small for you to see, Commissioner Land?
Well, if you don't mind, seeing my face, too close, if that ever happens. But no, I can. We're good.
I'll zoom it in a little bit if that'll help. Oops, no, that was the wrong way, wasn't it? All right, how about we go? Is that better?
Nice, thank you.
Okay, it just gives you a general idea of some assumptions that I've made about our current state, where we want to be as a desired state, and some of the current constraints we're dealing with. And this is by no means complete. That's why it says draft. I'm still putting it together, and then kind of an action plan based on all of that, and then my immediate to-do lists and some things that we need to do. So I'd be happy to send that to you as well, or we can include it as part of this meeting packet, or however that works. But it's just some things I'm putting together to move this whole thing forward.
Yeah, Commissioner Cooley, if you could
Yeah.
email it to me, I'll email it to Commissioner Land.
Okay, I'll do that.
And then make sure that this gets included as correspondence for the next board packet. So yeah, this is good.
Okay. So just gives you a quick idea of some of the things I'm working on.
Yeah, great. Thank you. Just as I'm just kind of quickly scanning through it, one of the things that's jumping out at me is the word merger as opposed to regional fire authority. Is that just maybe a non-significant title right now, or is that where Karen has kind of been leading you?
No, I just put it in quotes as we talked because it's a generic term, little m for merger. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Some sort of combination of the two districts, whether that be an RFA or a merger or whatever. So yeah, thank you. Of course, very open to any input on anything you might see now or later as well. This, like I said, it's by no means complete. I'm just trying to get a handle on all of the different ways that I think we need to attack this issue.
Yeah, no, thank you for doing that.
As you can see, I'll draw your attention to number 2 here under action plan. As you can see, Karen and I discussed all sorts of options, meaning from on one end of the spectrum would be a fully funded independent district for fire service, which is unlikely at this point, and all the way up down to and including no fire service in District 4. So, and then I'm trying to fill in every option we might have in between so that we can educate the constituents about those options. Time is short, as you probably know. Karen and I talked about that too. The deadlines for getting anything on the ballot, on either ballot for this year, are fast approaching, and in some cases really are too late for us to get certain issues on the ballot. But again, I need to flesh that out a little bit more so we understand where we are.
And I think I agree, Commissioner Cooley, and I think the biggest thing is we could throw something on the ballot, but what is our chance of success? You know, we look at last year's, 2 measures that failed, and it's obvious we have a huge communication problem or vacuum with the constituents. We're not understanding what they want, and they're not understanding what we need. So it's going to take time to fix that, and money. And how do we do that?
Exactly. One of the options that she and I talked about was some sort of a survey. She might have mentioned it to you all too, when you talked with her, some sort of a survey to present these options or some options to them and the impact of those options, and get an idea from the constituents what they're looking for. But yeah, how that happens and how we get that survey out is still a question that I'm exploring and that we are exploring. So,
yeah.
And one of the things, I guess the last thing I'll say, so we can move on unless you have questions, is I need to meet with probably your personnel chief, and maybe yourself to, kind of as a follow on to the meeting that we had a few months back where you went over the budget with me. I want to have a little bit more of a focused meeting on basically developing a way that we can communicate the current state of our finances to our constituents in a way that they will clearly understand. Yep. Their eyes, of course, will gloss over if we present any spreadsheets or anything like that. I want to distill down the work you've done into something we can use to communicate with the constituents.
Okay.
So,
absolutely.
I'll get with you on when we can get together to do that.
Okay.
And
Great.
That's it for now. So, all right, I'll stop sharing so we can move on. Any other questions or comments on this before I? Okay.
No, it looks great. Just, is there already another meeting or something in the works with Karen? Do you already have something, the next one planned?
Not yet. Karen and I are going to chat earlier this week, and I'll see what she and Bill Cushman have worked up as far as financial models, and then we'll get something on the books after that.
Okay, great.
All right, thank you all.
Let me go back here.
Britton Loop Station 12 maintenance discussion.
Chief Ward, you want to chime in on that one? You may be on the phone.
There I am.
Here he comes.
There I'm here. One of the things that we recently had done was the big 5-year required inspection of the training tower, and it's in decent condition as far as the structure goes. It has not been maintained on a regular basis, so it's kind of behind in needing a bunch of stuff done. There's a lot of metal work that needs to be replaced on it. There's some repairs that need to be done. There's some painting internally that needs to be done on it. reduce the rust within the structure itself. But overall, it's in good shape. It's in decent shape. There's some concrete work that needs to still be redone on it from some spalling that happened in the burn room over the years, as well as some of the panels still need to be replaced. We have some of that equipment or product that we purchased last year, and we just need to get that up. But yeah, the discussion is we're in the tens of thousands of dollars to go through and really put that thing back into good working order. Bellingham's done a pretty good job of if something gets broken, they've gone and fixed it rather than just leave it. But again, it's kind of gotten to a point where it's in need of some decent maintenance. And again, that's going to be one of those things that we have to look at as far as budgeting goes for that actual building. The grounds itself are in pretty good shape. There are some issues with some heaving of the asphalt that happened over the summertime with that wild heat wave that we had. And it's actually caused a couple of cracks that you can stick your finger into, and that's going to require some repair. You can't just top coat those. They have to be cut out, or you're just going to continue to split. So I haven't even gotten bids for that, but Station 68 had the same situation happen, and the bid came back from that for that little area was a little over $5,000. So, and I haven't even done a full inspection of all the grounds down there to see if there's any additional heaving that's happened. There's a couple big spots as right at the top of the roadway as you go by the station. There's a couple of spots there. So that's kind of it in a nutshell. Just a discussion with you gentlemen to kind of give you an idea of there's some work that needs to be done.
Great, thank you. Do you need anything from us right now as far as, you know, what you're doing to move forward, or this was just kind of more of an update, FYI?
More of an update right now. I'm going to work on getting some hard numbers for you so that you've got something to work off for budgeting purposes, and at least have some hard numbers to look at rather than some estimates right now.
Sure, thank you.
And the either chief, the building envelope, what am I trying to say? The exterior envelope of the building maintenance that we were going to do, like the painting and things. How's that coming along?
Well, we did get one bid from the painter that did the station bay doors here, and he is on our small works roster. We will get 2 other bids just because of the cost that's associated with it. It came back in, if I remember right, Chief, is right around $32,000 to paint both buildings. So
Both buildings, okay,
yeah,
okay, thank you.
Yep, it's not going to be an inexpensive fix. So
Yeah, for sure.
um,
Where briefly are we looking at getting that money from? Do we have an idea yet? Do we have money budgeted for that? Remind me, or is that something we need to look at reserve funds?
we do have some money budgeted. It may be that there's the county has approached me and is interested in the possibility of as they add a 5th medic unit, doing some moving around of medic units within the county. And one place they've identified is Station 12 would be a geographically good spot. That can happen in the state with the building layout as it is today. It would require a significant not restoration, but remodel to that station in order to house the number of people and that unit. So I went and met with Mike Hilly, who's the administrator for the EMS, Whatcom Medic 1, Whatcom EMS. We walked through the building, looked at plans, looked at drawings that were done when the building was initially built. So they had a phase 2 and phase 3 drawings. We went through and looked at that the city of Bellingham just got a bid architectural bid for what it would take to build a station out on Gooseberry Point to rebuild that station. And $452 a square foot is what commercial, simple commercial space is running right now with supplies and labor. So extrapolating that on what what kind of square footage we would need in order to make that work, it's about $1.5 million remodel project just to start with. The more that Mr. Hilly and I looked through the building and looked at things, there's a lot of work that would need to get done in order to house that many individuals, as well as bring up that station although it's only 20 years old, it doesn't meet today's health and safety standards. So there's some additional things that would have to get put into that station. And I've told him in no uncertain circumstances, District 4 cannot pay for this and then submit to you a bill for reimbursement. It would have to come 100% from the county. He's prepared to do that and has put out the initial feelers at the county so that they would have to do everything. Now, there's a huge question in my mind, who owns what when this thing's done?
Right. Okay.
This was a very long way of saying I'm hoping to actually wrap painting into this, this whole thing, because it's going to require an extensive remodel.
Okay.
It needs to add additional bunk rooms, additional showers. It needs to expand the kitchen and the living spaces. There's no office space. There would need to be some small office space. That's going to require the HVAC being updated. It would get the fit pit out of the apparatus bay in order to park a medic unit in there. I mean, we're talking a huge expansion. Now, in the phase 2 plans, those are drawn between the current station and the admin building. So if you're wondering, like, where is all this going to happen? That's the ground. So the land is owned. There's a conditional use permit on file. So, I mean, it could be expanded. But I have made it very clear to the county that District 4 is not going to do it. The county would have to do it. And I don't even have any idea how the legal ownership of that would come down in the end. But I'm hoping that, like I said, Commissioner Cooley, a long way around to answer your question.
Yep.
That's where I'm hoping some of that money comes from.
Gotcha. Okay. So we have some other options besides just our own reserve funds and stuff. So,
Right.
Okay. That'll be interesting to see how that plays out.
It's not something I'm super excited about yet. I mean, that's a long play, right?
Right.
There are other potential facilities, including Station 4, which is, a 1.5 miles away, which would be ready for it. But I think there's a push to have that unit located in the county, and to be located that close to Mount Baker Highway to be able to run to the east is a good spot. So, that would also be yet another form of revenue potentially for District 4 as far as, rental of that space, or does the county build it and they get it rent free for X number of years, and at the end of that time, the property goes to District 4. I don't know.
That could play out in a bunch of different ways.
Right.
Okay. Cool. Thanks for letting us know.
Yep.
Great. Good discussion. Anything else on that or any other unfinished business? All right. New business. Anybody have any new business?
I wanted to just, I spoke with Commissioner Land this morning briefly about Station 13, which is on East Smith Road. The state is looking for land or property and building space to lease for 2 DNR engines, so wildland engines. They've identified that as a property of interest. I'm working with them in the very initial stages now of what that would look like. Could be another, small to medium source of revenue for District 4. And it would be great. They've been parking their engines up at Station 12 the last couple of years during the week. And it's worked out well. It's been nice to have them nearby. And it would be, I can't think of a better use for Station 13 because we're not currently using it as a response station now. So, excuse me. So that's in the initial phases.
Cool.
The other piece of new business I'd like to bring up is that District 4, I have, since I became the chief, I've known about this. District 4 has some old apparatus, 2 aid cars and an engine. We're talking an old engine, not the one in service at Station 12 now. This one sits in a storage unit, in a storage facility that we have. And we maintain it, but we don't use it. It's a 2-man cab. It's, Sean, do you even know what year it is? 80, maybe in 1980, 82. And I'd like to suggest to the board that we surplus that engine and those 2 ambulances. We're maintaining them. It's costing money to maintain. To sell them would generate a small amount of revenue. It's insignificant to even think about, really, but we're also paying insurance for them, and we're not going to do anything with them. They're never going to go back in service as aid cars. They're just too old. The technology is obsolete, especially that engine. If it weren't sold, they would all go up for auction. Or the other idea with the older engine is it would be a wonderful engine to donate to someone south of the border, to a community in need south of the border. It would be small, short wheelbase, 2-man cab. It's perfect for them. But I'll let you 2 discuss if you would like to entertain surplusing these vehicles next month.
Yeah, I mean, for as far as my input on something like that, I would just rely heavily on you, Jason. Your expertise recommendation would be, and then just I guess the process would be you would put together the actual surplus language, and we would bring a motion forward at the next meeting. Is that kind of how that would work?
Correct. We'll type up a resolution and put them forward, and you can look at it and read it and decide whether to surplus or not. Both Chief Ward and I have talked, and we agree that there's no reason. These rigs are just costing us insurance money at this point. They're not in operational use. They're not going to be in operational use. They're collecting dust, and it would serve. I'll be honest, I've been really hesitant to want to do anything with any District 4 apparatus until any District 4 anything, until we know what the path is. But bottom line, if District 4 ends up on its own, which it's not, because that's not the plan, but nobody's going to use these apparatus. They're ready to become somebody's work van. Quite honestly, they're not going to be used for emergency response.
Got it.
That's good.
So, okay, we will draft we will prepare them for surplus. Draft the resolution will be in next month's board packet.
Great.
Perfect. Thanks.
Yep.
Was there any other new business?
I don't have anything else.
Nor do I at this point.
All right. Me either. It doesn't look like there's any correspondence unless something came in late.
No, sir.
All right. We're looking at next month's meeting. I had it on my calendar. 14th noon. Yep, that still works for me.
Okay.
Me too.
Okay. As far as agenda items for the next meeting, clearly, we just need to keep the RFA always on the agenda, always updates and discussion on that. So it sounds like there's people that are ready to continue to work on that. And then if there's, looks like we might have a resolution for surplusing. I don't know if anything maintenance wise would come up, but that's really the only thing that, and of course, filling the board. So yep. Those seems to be the kind of the pressing issues from my vantage point anyway.
Yep. And we'll add Station 13 as an update on Station 13, what's happening with the state there too as well.
Sounds good.
All right. So then in the drawer, in the commissioner's drawer at Britton Loop, is that where, if I swung by after work today, is that where I'll be able to see everything that I need to sign?
Yes, sir. We'll have them there. We'll have documents there. And then if you could email Jenny once you've signed them, each of you email Jenny and let her know when they're done, and we'll get them picked up and
Will
taken
do.
care of.
Okay, I mean, I don't know if it has to be today. I don't want to force anybody to suddenly run into town, into Bellingham for that, or maybe they're already there. I don't know.
Let's say they'll be there by close of business tomorrow.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Okay.
And I did sign the previous raft of documents last week as well. And I'm sorry I didn't email Jenny. I need to get better about communicating with her when I do that. But so I don't know if she goes up yet or not. But
Okay. So actually, I just got word that they're actually already there, so you can stop by today. And
great.
She's that good.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Perfect.
The minutes look really good this time around. She does a really good job with those. So
Yeah. So if you could just individually email her when you're done, that'd be wonderful.
okay.
Okay, is there anything else?
Nothing.
All right, well then I would say that we are adjourned. Thank you, everybody, for all your time and work that went into making this meeting happen.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, everybody.